I have finally found the keyboard with everything that I've ever wanted in one package, and that's the Corsair K70 LUX RGB with Cherry MX silent switches. My life is complete. So let's not waste any more time and get on with the review. I've already done the unboxing, that was just empty. So here we have it. Essentially Corsair's second generation of K70 keyboard. In this video I'm going to do a brief run through of the specs, I'm going to give my opinions, of course there'll be a sound test, and then I'll do a little comparison at the end with a similar model, or maybe a model you would buy as an alternative to this. The box is jam-packed with information, front and back. Inside, the packaging is all perfectly laid out, not too hard to get into, so frustration free I would say. And inside the box you'll find the keyboard unit, of course, a wrist rest with a textured surface on it, the warranty guide, the K70 LUX instruction manual, your extra sets of grey textured keys and the key pulling tool. The keyboard itself is of a nice aluminum structure. It's hardly flexible at all, and the keys are raised so you can actually see the RGB lighting underneath them. The cable's a braided cable. Now I find this really thick, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's I suppose a sign of quality. This one is fixed out the back of the keyboard, so you cannot relocate it out of either side. Maybe something that's lacking compared to its Razer competitors. On the back you have the USB pass-through port, and then you have the BIOS switch as well. So you have 4 rubber pads on the bottom of the keyboard, so if you're laying it completely flat it doesn't slip around. You've also got 4 of these expanding legs, 2 at the front, 2 at the back, so you can vary the position depending on what you like. I don't get the front ones, I don't understand it personally, but there you go. As well as still including the lovely media controls with a volume roller, mute button, and then your audio controls as well. You can also adjust the lighting, you can adjust the Windows key function on and off, and the caps lock, num lock, scroll lock lights, really bright white LED lights as well. The additional keycaps are grey and textured, and you've got your usual WASD and then your MOBA keys as well. You also get the pulling tool here, which is really hard to get out actually. I had to use a craft knife in the end, but the key puller actually has a nice sort of glossy finish on it. The wrist rest itself is quite a firm plastic. It's got a weird dotty texture to it. It feels okay, but trying to fit it to the keyboard, it's a bit of a nightmare. You have to lift the keyboard up and slot it underneath until it clicks, and then getting it off again, you feel like you're going to break it. So in the end I just decided to get my squidgy Razer wrist rest from my Ornata, and that's a perfect match made in heaven in my opinion. The keys are German made Cherry MX silent switches. There are a choice of others available, depending on what you like. The keys also have a 104 key rollover, so you can press so many keys at once. You might want to get your mates round and see if everyone wants to have a press at the same time. The Cherry MX silent switches are loosely based around the Cherry MX Red, but apparently up to 30% quieter, and they require only 45 grams of actuation. For the key sound test, I've decided to compare it with the Razer Ornata that I also own. Now this has the mecha-membrane switches, but if you check the link below I did a video on how to remove the click to make them pretty much just membrane switches which were really quiet. The reason I want to compare is because the Cherry MX silent switches are supposed to be quiet. So let's do a comparison between the two, and I'll let you be the judge of how silent the MX silent switches are. The software, it still needs simplifying. It's awful. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. What I did manage to figure out was that if you're using a number of the preset colour modes, you can change your colour options from random to presets. You can change the speed that the animations operate at. You can change the direction if it's a sweeping or a spinning animation. The RGB lighting is actually surprisingly good. Obviously the Corsair Strafe model has the white key backing, as does the Razer Ornata, which I'll use for most of the comparisons in this video. So with the white backing, the lights are very vivid, they stand out, they look pretty. But with this keyboard, they look just as nice. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Here's a demonstration of some of the preset colour modes you can go through. In the US, this keyboard's going to run you about $170. In the UK, £150. Quite expensive, but it is a good quality keyboard which will last you a long time. I think it's worth it. So to summarise, I love this keyboard because it's aluminum, strong, it's got mechanical silent switches which are pretty quiet, it's got decent RGB lighting, it's got media controls, and it's got a USB pass-through. So for me, perfect for what I need. It's a bit expensive, but I would happily spend that again if I didn't have this one. Oh no, I've already bought it. Great keyboard, go out and buy it. Thanks for watching my video, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you what you needed to help you make a decision on whether or not to buy the K70 LUX. If you want to check out some of my other videos, I do other product reviews. I also do gaming videos. But until the next video, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Cheers.